Rubiconian. This will be the first of many ACs, which feel like a random collection of parts that don't really do anything well. We start with the Sweet 16. It's the worst shotgun by far, having atrocious range and reload time. The Etsujin, I could swear felt better in the past, but now it's just a fairly middling way of building stagger. Maybe it's because the FCS is trash and you'll be missing shots like it's your 4th hour at the bar. The arms also have a firearm spec lower than my will to live. The Delivery Boy is a cool idea and I go back and forth on loving it or being indifferent. It's a big missile that flies around in circles and bombs the area. It's very good at hitting things, especially big things, and deals impressive damage. However, it's very slow and impractical, takes forever to lock on, and even forces you to stand still to fire. The final weapon is the Stun Bomb Launcher. It's a good way of applying electric discharge buildup across a wide area and without forcing you to assume stance, but kind of useless otherwise. So we have 3 weapons that are decent to good at building stagger, and 1 weapon that does next to nothing. I mean, at least you can cycle between the shotgun and the launcher, but this build would really benefit from a punish weapon. The kick or the Sweet 16 will have to do, and they're not very impressive, as is the frame. The parts differ in character, such as the head having good AP and stability, but the core being exceptionally frail. The legs are the spring chicken reverse joints, which I really like overall. They feel very good to use, and the load limit lets you carry just about anything. However, the weapons really benefit from close range, and the high jump on these legs takes me a bit too far away from the enemy. It's exceptionally hard to hit anything using this AC, so it kind of needs an overhaul. Better FCS, better arms, better generator, and a punish weapon instead of the therapist. If it just had assault armor, it'd be a lot better, but it has no expansion. Corporation. The first tetrapod we've come across, and it does not live up to how good such builds can be. There's 3 tetrapod sets in this game, and they're unique in that they can hover mid-air while consuming very little energy, and can also use weapons such as grenade launchers or charged energy rifles without having to assume stance. This one uses the most intermediate legs on the weight scale, and I think they are the worst ones. You can get more maneuverable bipedal legs with more attitude stability and load limit than those. I think if you're making a tetrapod build, you should go for either the lightest ones to take advantage of their speed, or the heaviest ones to get the stability and AP. These are kind of the worst of both worlds. Furthermore, the weapon selection doesn't really necessitate the use of such a leg type. This AC is another mishmash of various parts made by the 2 main corporations of the game. The frame parts doesn't really know if it wants to be a heavyweight or not. What's even weirder is that most of these weapons are not utilized by any corporate AC. The Chang Chen is one of the weakest automatic weapons. The Ludlow is better in every way that isn't magazine and ammo capacity. Still, it's fairly practical. This laser rifle is pretty sweet, as it fires faster than most laser weapons. We've got the vertical missiles as well. Those fly high up into the air to strike from above. However, their tracking is really bad, and they have trouble hitting anything more mobile than a tetrapod MT. And even if they do, the stagger they build up decays by a lot. The final weapon is this laser turret dispenser. It leaves behind these tiny laser guns, which are very good at hitting things. They can deal some respectable damage when you manage to stack a lot of them in one area, but they're underwhelming otherwise. This might seem like a weird assortment of weapons without much deliberation as to how you're meant to use them. The laser gun is your best punish option, but the AC could really use better ways to build stagger. Furthermore, these weapons do not take advantage of its tetrapod nature, and hovering above enemies often leaves you out of range of your best weapons. Some of the parts could be better too. As good as the Alula booster is, this mech doesn't feel reflectively mobile. The generator also needs some work, as the recovery specs are weak and the FCS is underwhelming. At least the pulse armor is there to save this fragile hunk of bolts. Mind Beta. The second of the all-mind mechs, ironically made of only Mind Alpha parts, is probably the worst of the lot. It's got the same internals as Gamma, and the frame is quite sturdy, but lacking the reverse joint jump height and kick power. The Karasawa and Laser Orbit are back, but we've got a different shield. This one has good damage protection, but lacks an absorbing impact, which is probably more important. The other change is the Laser Dagger melee weapon. I love this little thing. The damage it deals isn't as staggering as some other blades, but it's got other advantages. It's very quick to strike, which makes it a good option against enemies such as Iguazu, who recover from stagger extremely quickly. The cooldown is extremely short too. You can literally do a combo into a kick and already be ready to attack again. Another benefit of weapons that hit many times is that you can attack before the enemy is quite staggered and then still take advantage of the additional damage. Like all melee options, this one has a charged attack. It's a more powerful single sweep with better range. However, I rarely use it, just because the AC always seems hell-bent on killing some invisible phantom enemy behind the one I'm actually targeting. The problem with this weapon selection is that they just don't work well together. You'd think the dagger is the main punish tool, but we're lacking ways in building stagger in the first place. The Laser Orbit is only really good at maintaining stagger, and the Karasawa is just one gun that isn't even kinetic. The ultimate charge attack can stagger most ACs instantly, but it consumes way too much ammo to use it all the time. The weak shield takes up a slot that could be used for some missile launcher, or what have you. I find the best way to use this AC is to treat the dagger as a weapon like any other, in order to conserve Karasawa ammo. It's quite a risky way to play, and you'll be eating a lot of bullets, so this preset is quite lacking.